Do you feel like you've lost your way? Are you overwhelmed and anxious on a daily basis? Do you feel like you're too stressed out to enjoy life? If so, you've landed in the right place. The Gratitude to Bliss show is about stressing less and feeling blessed. It's about figuring out what matters most, letting go of what doesn't, and creating a life that makes you feel happy and alive. I'm Lorraine Miller, mom, health coach, award-winning author, infertility survivor, and recovering stressaholic. And I'm on a mission to help you overcome overwhelm, improve your health, and find your bliss. The best part? It's so easy to get started. The Gratitude to Bliss show starts now. Hello and welcome to the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and I'm really excited for today's show. We are at the very end of 2024, and our topic today is Thrive in 2025 with vitamin G. My guest today is Jennifer LaLima. And she is a personal development coach, a homeschool mom of two, a yoga instructor, and a journalist. She focuses on simple yet effective practices to help you find the peace and clarity needed to breathe into your best life possible from moment to moment, from day to day, phase to phase, year to year. I am so happy to welcome you here today, Jen.
Hi, Lorraine. And I love everything that you do. Most of all, what struck me when I met you is that you brought all of this, funneled it all down to this foundation of gratitude. And it's just incredible. I mean, just the fact that you did that and your work comes from that foundation kind of says everything about the work you do and who you are. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's always nice to hear positive things about this work.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely challenges like anything. So it's really nice to hear that. So Jen, tell us about the work you do as a personal development coach, who you help, and how.
Yeah, it's been over 20 years in wellness, health, yoga, in various different ways and kind of all alchemized together. And I brought all of my certifications and the work as a teacher, as a public school teacher for a long time. I kind of brought it all together into one and melded it all together because it was happening naturally. I was being hired by parents to come into the homes to work with their teenagers on building confidence. And then the parents would ask me to work with them, and they kind of began to see I had all of this training behind me and these certifications behind me that really actually worked together as one. So it wasn't an intention that I set out with. It kind of all just melded together very organically and naturally. And so most of my clients are beginning out life, seniors in high school going into college, but I would say college age through the late 30s. But then my clients range from age 5 to in their 80s as well. But I would say that the majority of my clients, they are working on their own personal evolution. And so we combine so many different skills, from writing to this very beautiful intrinsic healing yoga, anything that's right for that client. So highly personalized. And we combine it and personalize and tailor the work that we do for their own personal evolution and maybe even transitions in their lives for them. And building that deep, authentic sense of confidence, which is really an authentic sense of self-trust, a sense of feeling safe, in your body and in the world around us, knowing who we are.
That's so beautiful. And I think that the work that you do is really so important for that age group. And to have that support that you give them as they are entering into the adult world and tackling challenges, but living with intention, I think is so empowering and so so needed, like
Yeah.
really, really needed. I think that, that age is tough. It can be really tough, but
Yeah.
what a beautiful offering you have.
It's just beautiful how you understood it so well and you gave me such an accurate mirror back, right, for the work, because the words that you use, that says it all: intention and empowerment. So we really learn discernment and having mindful awareness, intention. That way we are tapping into our own flow and our inner guidance. And then when we make choices, they're more aligned with our truest self, right? And it's always okay in a part of life, of course, to go off the path, right? But we don't want to veer too far from ourselves, from our truest self, and who we can visualize ourselves becoming, who we're always evolving into, while also honoring all that we are and all that got us to where we are. So thank you for that, because that really was an accurate reflection for the work that all of these people are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's something I wish I had when I was in my younger years, stumbling all over the place, trying to figure it all out. So,
Yeah.
what a
Mhm.
gift, such a gift that you're giving our,
Thank
our young our young people. So, thank
you.
you.
Yeah, we create what we need too, right? I mean, I look back and that's certainly what I felt I was doing, especially when I was working with people in their 20s and 30s. I would think back to my own life and my own experiences as well. So I think we create what we need, but also I think that, like, you found such power in gratitude. You amplify that then, and you shine that light outward once you felt that richness, because that's what happens when we feel something amazing. We want to share it.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And gratitude is like that. Like, I want
Oh,
everyone to, feel the benefits.
yeah.
So,
Yes. Yes.
so I love that your work is so focused on mindfulness. And one of the things that I really love to do, I've been doing this now probably for the last 3 or 4 years. At the end of the year, I love to really reflect on just all the good things that happened during the year. And it we're so much on autopilot during the holidays. Like we
Mm.
so focused on the shopping and getting the house ready and the wrapping and the going here, going there, decorations, however you celebrate your holiday. It's just like the stress is in the air,
Mhm.
and we can kind of just push through and get to the new year and be like, oh, okay, now I can slow down. But
Yeah.
not really taking time to look back and think about the good things that happened. And a really good way to do that is just scroll through your phone and be reminded of the party you went to back in May and the
Mhm.
graduation and the beach and the summer, because otherwise they're just forgotten.
Yeah. I love
And
that. Yeah.
and to really like take inventory and focus on the positive things, because it's easy to think, oh, this was such a rough year, and look at all the challenges and the, you know, maybe setbacks or maybe goals that weren't accomplished and feel bad. But if we really take inventory and look at the good things that happen, it can really set stage for how we enter the new year and how we can thrive in 25. So I want to hear from you what your thoughts are on this. And because I usually like to write it out and share it
Mm.
with my family. But what are your thoughts on the end of the year, and how do you like to celebrate the end of the year?
I love that. And I love, that you share it with the family too, kind of have everyone sit there and write out, what do we want to reflect on from this year? And then even the things that maybe felt not so great, right? Reflecting on, well, how might I grow from that? Like, how might I use that as nutrients in the soil and plant a seed there, right? And grow from that. So two things come to mind. One is something I think my children made this up when they were toddlers. I don't even think it came from me. But as a teacher, we would say sometimes, what was your rose and what was your thorn today? And then my children kind of expanded it when they were younger. They're still young, but when they were very small, into a rose. What was your rose this year? The thorn. But then what's a seed that you want to plant? And what was in the soil? What's the sunlight? What's the water? And it comes to their minds so much more quickly than my mind. It's like, oh, well, you know what? When my friend said to me, I loved what you did with the dance, after you fell down, I loved what you did, how you got back up. When my friend complimented me, that was like the water, that was like the sunlight, right? Growing the seed from the soil. And so when you're talking about sitting with your family at the end of the year and kind of writing it out, I'm thinking, I love the combination of those two for the year. We kind of do this at the end of the day a lot. But
Mhm.
what about looking back on the year? Like, what were some thorns? But then, what were some things in the soil that I already had, some tools I had, some nutrients I already had that helped me know how to grow from that thorn or know how to grow from that hardship that I went through? And so, the other thing that came to mind was I wrote an article recently about how this time of year there's so much new that's very in our faces, right? The TV, the magazines that come in the mail, like buy this, buy that, and the sales. There's a lot of new. And then the idea of the new year coming, we're already thinking, well, what's going to be new? What's going to be different about me or my life? And how do I achieve that? And so we're so focused on the new, it's easy to forget that this is the season of the harvest. And I learned this back in 2011, I think, from this book, The Way of the Happy Woman by Sarah Avant Stover. And I had the opportunity to meet her up at Kripalu around then. And this book just changed my life in many ways. But this idea that this is the harvest season, this is when everything has blossomed over the summer, right? This is when we pull everything up out of the soil, we turn over the soil, and we gather all. I mean, wow, look what was created. How did I help to create this, right? Who else was around me that maybe helped to create this, or what else in my life? And just reflecting. So, in a lot of my yoga classes the past month, that's been our intention, reflecting on digging metaphorically the fingers into the soil and pulling up, what are some things I've already learned that I could actually utilize a little bit more, maybe to problem solve something in my life, maybe to create something in this next year, but using the reflection, because it's not about starting with a blank slate, right? Every time. So we can
Mhm.
go back and look at what can I reflect upon that I can utilize a little bit more? Because don't we learn lessons sometimes, then we move on with our lives and we forget, wait a second, I learned that lesson already. I learned that in a big way. I could be using the richness of that lesson a little bit more in my life now.
I love that. I love thinking about the harvest and planting seeds because I think that so many times we're just focused on problems and stress. Stress is such a like dream killer
Yeah.
because it just gets in the way and you don't even realize how much you've accomplished because maybe something didn't come to fruition, but if you focus on the fact that you've planted seeds and or maybe the lesson was really the bounty of what
Mm.
you planted, just having the lesson, it may not have turned out the way you wanted, but there's always something to
Yeah.
gain. There's always something
Yes.
to
Yeah.
be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thinking about, I love to garden. So I'm thinking about my garden this year. And um, 2 summers ago, I had an abundance of tomatoes. And, but this summer, for some reason, the deer got all my tomato plants.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
But yet I had an abundance of kale. And I had all this kale in the fall. And it just made me realize like every year is a little bit different. And it's really about,
Mhm.
it wasn't really in my control so much like what was flourishing. I mean,
Oh, wow. I
a
love
little
that.
bit, but
Yeah.
to like just be okay with like
Yeah.
and celebrate all the kale I had. Sure, I missed not having as many tomatoes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but there was a lot of kale. And so anyway,
Oh, I love that. I'm not going to forget that example. I love that example. Yes, we think we know, right? Especially if we look at the new year, we might think we know, well, this is the lesson I think I'm supposed to learn for this next year, right?
Mhm.
But humility, a lot of the work I do comes down to like practicing humility and getting so deep in our humility, so deep in a beautiful, safe way. And that humility that you just brought in of, well, I didn't know ahead of time what this year was meant to bring me, or maybe there's no meaning to it, right? Or it was just going to
Mhm.
bring me. And having that humility, isn't that the antidote to the stress that you were talking about, right? Kind of just surrendering and letting go and using December as kind of like a gentle on ramp into the new year rather than this fast pace. Oh, now I got to rest. Oh, wait,
Mhm.
I have to have a New Year's resolution. Such a different feel when it comes to stress. But just this on ramp of, I wonder what 2025 is going to bring me and what I am going to learn this year, how I'm going to evolve and what I'm going to love, what's going to be uncomfortable, but I'll grow, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that gentle on ramp. Just kind of
Yeah.
ease into the new year.
Yeah, yeah,
And something else you mentioned that I really love is just it the word that came to my mind was uncertainty. I feel like so much of our stress comes from having an expectation of how something is going to turn out. And the reality is we never really know. We Uncertainty is a reality. But
yeah.
when we can embrace that and have wonder around that and just know that there will be something good that will come of whatever happens
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
feels, supported. That's why I love the work that you do um,
Mhm.
with your clients because just that's something I don't think I had in my 20s and even my most of my 30s was just being okay with uncertainty, being,
Yeah.
feeling comfortable whatever happens, knowing that I'll be okay, knowing that I have my
Yeah.
own back, right?
Yeah. Self-trust.
So I
Yeah.
think it's really wonderful. Well, I'm loving this conversation, and I know that you do a lot of um, your work is very mindful and it's very much with nature.
Mhm.
And I think this conversation is really about just slowing down and trusting and letting things evolve.
Yeah. Yeah. The natural rhythm, right? So following the seasons, um, that's if we can be in tune with that, just very simple ways, very simple. Like, what are the fruits and vegetables that grow locally during this season? That gives me a little bit of intention and a little bit of a feeling in my body, right? Okay, I'm going to consume more of those, maybe more root vegetables, right? Where in the summertime, I'm breaking open more oranges and those things are great all year round. Of course, we're both health coaches, we know that. But as far as mindful intention, kind of just playing with it with a light heart in that way. What are some things that are happening around me? The leaves are letting go. The trees are letting go of their leaves, right? And we think it's ridiculous to say, oh, imagine we made the trees hold on to their leaves, right? No, the trees know that it's time to rest. The roots are rooted and the tree knows it. The tree feels it and is being nourished. and the leaves can be let go of. So how do I use that metaphorically? As a writer, I just noticed, even as a child, I very much am drawn to metaphor. And so using metaphor to find your own natural rhythm and then following that natural rhythm reduces stress tremendously, tremendously. And the last thing I just wanted to say about gratitude with that is the practice that we're doing in a lot of the yoga classes that I'm teaching and with my one-on-one clients is noticing simple gratitude, the sensation that's very subtle in the body. So, you see a blue jay land outside your window, there's a reaction there. And maybe it's a split second, but pausing with the reaction, what is the subtle feeling that I'm feeling in my body? So, the subtlety of simple gratitude is a practice that we've been using a lot in classes and in the one-to-one sessions because it gives you that lightheartedness. And then the depth, that ocean depth of gratitude can come in a way that doesn't feel heavy, that feels warm and protected. So I just noticed that it's a strategy that people are able to tap into even easier and quicker because it's just walking around. Okay, I'm going to notice the simple gratitude. I'm going to notice what's happening in my body. And then you feel the more profound gratitude. It just rushes in very easily and naturally because that practice has been built over time. It's like a muscle.
Mm. Oh, I really love that. I think that's really helpful.
Mm.
And because it doesn't have to be like this big thing,
Yeah,
right? Just
yeah.
noticing the little things. And then
Yeah.
I never thought about this, but just noticing the subtle sensations that gratitude gives you.
Yeah.
It kind of brings it home. So it's like, because sometimes we don't really want to practice gratitude. We don't feel grateful, but if you can catch yourself throughout the day, like, oh,
Yeah.
saw that pretty,
Yeah.
blue jay outside, or I heard the woodpecker in my backyard. I think that's
Mm.
a great habit to bring into the new year.
Yeah. Or when the socks come out of the dryer, or you have pajamas straight out of the dryer, right? Or maybe purposely put your socks and pajamas into the dryer and create that simple gratitude moment. And then just
Yes,
pause
yes,
as you feel the warmth on your body.
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Um, yeah, I always love using the example of when, I was first dating my husband and I would make him a cup of tea and he would thank me, but he would thank me with like such a gratitude. And I'd be like, it's just a cup of tea. But he was like really appreciating that I made it for
Oh,
him. So
yeah. Yeah.
it's
Caring.
those little moments. If you can tap into that feeling of gratitude,
Yeah.
it changes the game.
Yeah. You know what that just brought to mind that, and I felt this in my whole body. I learned at a very young age, when I was 19, I don't want life to just pass me by, you know? And so when you just said that, I thought, wow, yeah, that what your husband was doing there, and then the interaction with you is not letting life just pass by, right? Always rushing, like yoga, it's not about just getting to the next pose. How are you getting to the next pose?
Mm,
Are we moving our body? And the yoga that I teach is very a beautiful tradition and really just delicious in how you get from one pose into the next. That transition is so important. And so that's not just trying to live in the photo albums, right? Living life fully
yes.
day to day, not just for the next event or the next vacation.
Yeah. And so that's a beautiful way to summarize this conversation. How are you going to transition from
Mm.
this current year to the next year?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I loved this. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have to end soon, but I want to take a quick minute for our gratitude moment. So Emily, our producer, is going to spin the wheel of gratitude for us. So Emily, let us know what it lands on.
Okay, today the wheel landed on health.
Oh, how
Health.
funny. That's so funny because that's how we met, right? Through The
That's right.
Institute. Yeah.
At the Heal the Healer conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
So just take a moment to think about your health. Think about what your health gives you and how you are able to live your life, having your health, and even just being grateful for the opportunity to make an effort to be healthy. It can
Mm.
be so hard in today's world. So find something small that you do for yourself that you do because you consider it to be healthy. Maybe it's going to bed at a certain time, maybe it's drinking water, maybe it's exercising. Whatever it is that you do for your health, be grateful for yourself and be grateful for your body. It's so important to appreciate
Mm.
the small things that we do and to appreciate the health that we have because it's not a given. And the more what you focus on is what grows. So the more you appreciate your health, the healthier you become.
Yeah, exactly. Where intention goes, energy flows, right?
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, we have to end now, but Jen, this has been so fun and just so inspiring. Remind
Same.
everyone, tell everyone how to get in touch with you and anything that you offer our listeners. You can take this opportunity now to share.
Sure. Thank you. So on Instagram, I'm alchemy dot and dot vitality. So alchemy and vitality. And there's just a dot between those words. And then if you wanted to go online, so right now I am offering $25 introductory sessions. And so if anyone wanted to take me up on that, and that's in honor of this on-ramp to 2025. So $25 introductory one-to-one sessions. And then from there, we're going to be doing for the new year 25% off of the packages. So the packages are already at a discounted rate, to just make it more affordable and easier to really have a beginning, middle, and end to the personal development work that we're doing. And there'll be 25% off the new year. So if you want to go to my website, it's simplefreshhabits.com. And you can just put your email address right in there. As soon as it pops up, you get some free journal pages and it'll say, subscribe or put your email address in there to get free journal pages. And then from there, you can contact me on the contacts link on my website if you'd like to set up one-to-one sessions. And then lastly, I teach at the Long Island Center for Yoga and I teach at Fitness Incentive, both in Babylon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen. And I will put all of that in the show notes for everyone so they can find you. So we're going to end now, but thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and I want to encourage you to bring gratitude with you into the new year. Check out episode 1 of the show to find out how you can get started with a very simple gratitude practice I call vitamin G. Go to gratitudetobliss.com and download your free guided meditation, Nourishing Gratitude, so that you can focus on the special sauce and really focus on the feeling of gratitude. It's been a pleasure to be here. I wish everyone a happy, healthy new year. And remember, I love you. Take your vitamin G. Thank you for tuning in to the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and I want to remind you to check out episode 1 and create your own powerful vitamin G practice and let gratitude work magic in your life. To help you add that special sauce, download your free guided meditation, Nourishing Gratitude, at gratitudetobliss.com. Do you have a gratitude story to tell? Has gratitude helped you overcome a challenge in your life? Or are you going through a rough time and need some extra support? Go to gratitudetobliss.com/contact and send us your story to be a featured guest on the show so you can inspire others with your story or get inspired to break through whatever you are struggling with. Remember, I love you. Take your vitamin G. One thing I know for sure is that life is a blessing. We aren't meant to feel stressed, overwhelmed, and anxious on a daily basis. We are meant to feel calm, healthy, and strong mentally, physically, and emotionally. If you've been struggling with stress, if you want to boost your mood, increase your energy, balance hormones, and create greater mental clarity and focus, if you want to lose excess weight and keep it off, I invite you to check out Calm, Healthy, and Fit, my 3-month group coaching program that is all about you and making yourself a priority. We are going to set achievable goals, create healthy habits around food and lifestyle, and support each other in a group setting. Join us and visit gratitudetobliss.com/group coaching to learn more.